Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Awesome. So I hope you're all doing well. Before we get started with my pitch, I have a question for all of you. So do you know how many Google trackers were used as third-party cookies on other websites?
A lot.
How many?
A lot.
A lot? Okay. What about, Facebook or Twitter? Does anyone know?
A lot.
Yeah, don't worry, I didn't know the answer either, but you would think that for websites we use on a daily basis, we'd know just how much they are tracking our activity to deliver these hyper-personalized experiences, right? The answer, by the way, is 44 for Twitter, 107 for Facebook, and 262 third-party trackers in total for Google, according to the P-Cloud Security Report. So, what's the problem? Next slide. Third-party cookies are integral to the way that the internet and the websites we use every day, like Twitter, Facebook, and Google, function. And Google is planning a ban on third-party cookies on Chrome within the next year, so 2024. Third-party cookies are used by advertisers and publishers to track user activity and behavior to serve targeted ads. And this ban will affect the advertising industry's ability to track and target users effectively and deliver these personalized experiences. So, who are the impacted stakeholders? Advertisers will face challenges in delivering relevant ads to users, which will impact their advertising revenue. Content creators will also experience a drop in revenue as advertisers will be less willing to advertise on their websites. And users will receive a less personalized and less relevant experience. Furthermore, significant power imbalance for Google, whose advertising tools are not effective, will occur, which will result in a less competitive market and an overall worse user experience for all. But we have a solution. We believe that the future of advertising is human-centric, and it's powered by Crumbs. Next slide, please. Compressed NFT cookies. Imagine a world where you have complete control over your personal data and you can share it with the people and the companies you trust in a secure and transparent way. A world where content creators and advertisers can offer you personalized experiences that truly reflect your interests and values while rewarding you for it. I will now pass it off to Amy, who will talk about our products.
Hi everyone, my name is Amy and I built the backend and the token aspect of Crumbs. So I'm a Solana developer and I believe that a lot of things are only possible in Solana, including compressed NFTs. So what are compressed NFTs? So data is stored on-chain, which is quite expensive, especially when you do it at a scale that is meant for mass adoption. So how can we combat this problem? Well, with Solana's newest technology, compressed NFTs using Merkle trees, we are able to create millions and billions of NFTs for very cheap. Actually, it would actually be $250 to create a million and $260 to create a billion. So you can see how that scales very well. So in our application, we're creating a master edition token, which represents a blank slate. This blank slate is what every user starts out with. It's basically a permissionless permission file. What does this permission file do? It's a crumb. So what happens when you compress a cookie? You get crumbs. And these crumbs are passed to the consumption websites that are like the advertiser or platforms like Google, third-party websites. And they take this NFT, which you may allow them to view, so that way you can monetize your data and how people are accessing your data, as well as what your data is used for. So you can select different options on this minted in your compressed NFT, which is uncompressed and then transferred to you, and then you can redeem it. So this whole process kind of happens in the back end, but it allows you to dynamically interact with the websites that you're giving your data to. I will now pass it to Osa.
Hi,
So now we're going to go on to our value proposition. So Crumbs believes that we are proposing a solution that would add value trifold. Firstly, we will reward users for their data. NFT cookies provide a more transparent and secure way of tracking user behavior, as my partner Amy has stated. Further, users can now have more control over their data, and you can choose to sell or keep your data. Secondly, Crumbs will provide higher quality data for advertisers because of our NFT cookies, providing a way to obtain first-party data directly from users, which improves the quality of audience targeting. And advertisers can now access more accurate and verifiable data, which can increase the effectiveness of their ad campaigns. Lastly, Crumbs can supply reliable revenue for content creators. NFT cookies will provide an additional revenue stream for creators by enabling them to monetize their content to fans directly. Further, we will ensure a more fair power distribution by providing alternative monetization paths other than Google. So, after we built out what we have done in the past 48 hours of the hackathon, our tool is currently online as a website, but in the future we hope to offer our tool as a package or an extension to make it more convenient to onboard users. Further, we want to make it possible to customize permissions on a site-to-site basis. So as we have it currently, our NFTs are actually soul-bound, which means that we have one universal NFT where the users can edit their permissions for. But in the future, we would like to customize that per website. Lastly, we would like to add an onboarding form that offers streamlined wallet creation from within our extension or package for easier onboarding. In conclusion, Crumbs believes that the future of advertisement is equitable and human-centric, and not manipulative and dehumanizing as the industry we have today is. NFT Cookies is our vision for a future that empowers users, advertisers, and content creators to create a more secure, transparent, and ethical approach to data collection and targeting. So join us in shaping the future of the 615.2 billion advertisers to empower 200 million content creators and the 4.6 billion internet users from around the world. Thank you.
So we have a quick demo of our website. It's very simple for now. You input some data. Actually, this number right here that you see, I think it's 10 million. That's like a possible number of NFTs that you can mint in a Merkle tree. In a singular Merkle tree, you can mint 10 million leaves that detach and you send, to your users for a very cheap fee. So now it's creating the different accounts. So you, as the creator of this 1 million NFTs, you're approving the transactions, and then you receive the data. And then this is the step where we're creating the Merkle tree. So the Merkle tree is created, but we haven't gotten through to the part where we are distributing it yet. So as Alyssa mentioned, that is our future plan. And I could go over to GitHub if you guys are really interested in seeing some token minting code. This is creating a master NFT. I'm pushing this onto the DevNet. I'm creating a bunch of different accounts. So you would start with mint account, token account, metadata account, and then you kind of end it off with connecting them. You kind of connect the mint account to the token account, so they kind of point to each other. And then after all of this data, you can finally create your thing. So you initialize it, which is another instruction. But after all of this, you can mint our master edition, which is basically like a printer for NFTs. You can print a lot of NFTs with this, basically as many as you select your max supply to be. And then we have our compressed NFT minting code, which you have a bunch of helper functions, and then we have the init tree function, which creates a Merkle tree from a key pair. So the user pays for this, but this Merkle tree basically is a root account that is on-chain, but it attaches to data that is stored off-chain in ledgers. And why ledgers? Ledgers are self-custodial. The secret key never leaves the device. So it's all very safe, and you mint it you mint the compressed NFT after you've created the different the trees, the key pairs, and finally you can transfer the asset. So you transfer the asset from an existing owner to a new owner, and this process is actually quite simple compared to transferring a normal NFT because it just involves the asset ID, which is basically the unique identifier of the leaf in the Merkle tree. Lastly, we have redeem assets. So this is the fun part where the user kind of gets to like unwrap their little crumb into their cookie, where they're able to turn this compressed NFT, which used to be a leaf off-chain, into an on-chain asset. So this is essentially what we have, just creating it. Yeah, really happy to build this in 48 hours. Hope to build it some more so we can improve the future of data security and ownership. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
What prevents like an advertiser that you've sold your data to from sending it to another advertiser or just publishing your data themselves?
Right, so for this we actually have a solution. So it's decentralized IDs. So with decentralized IDs, one of the things you can accomplish with this is limiting who can actually see what's inside your wallet and who can see your tokens. So if you limit the session, if you limit the access to a single session view, and you have that one of the parameters we have is collecting your wallet address, for example. So if they're not allowed to collect that wallet data on there, then they're not allowed to push that to another third party. And while I do recognize that people can just do whatever with code, there are actually many internet laws regarding advertising, especially around emailing, collecting data, which a lot of Web 2 companies don't really respect and do under the hood. So in Web 3, we're trying to go for transparency and code is law. So with this, we're open sourcing it, and we're pushing for a future where protocols and platforms are open sourced and can follow this standard that we're trying to create for data ownership.